Hey guys, before we get into today's video, I just want to remind you all that since the 25th anniversary of Toonami is next month, March 17th, I am going to do a video to coincide with it. And I've been trying to find cartoon and anime reviewers to collaborate with on that project. So, if you are interested, feel free to let me know by messaging me on Discord or Twitter, the links for both of which are in the description below. Now let's get into today's video. Hello everybody, my name is Nathan, and I am the man with a cartoon obsession. When it comes to video games, I'm very casual with them. I've never considered myself a huge gamer, but I do enjoy playing them from time to time. When a video game gets adapted into an animated series, then it really grabs my attention. That leads us into today's video. Before we get into that though, I would greatly appreciate it if you could take just a second to like this video and subscribe to the channel for more animation related content. My goal is to reach 1,000 subscribers by the end of the year, and I'm hoping we can make that happen. I'm not an expert on Cuphead by any means, and to be honest, I only bought the game about a month ago. In that time though, I played it a fair amount, didn't get too far into it, and died countless times. If you don't know by now, Cuphead is a difficult game, especially if you're like me and suck at video games in general. However, the game is fun, addicting, satisfying once you finally defeat a boss, and aesthetically pleasing from the visuals to the music. I'm not here to review the game, but I figured I'd throw that little blurb out there as a premise. With all that out of the way, let's get into my cartoon review of The Cuphead Show. The Cuphead Show was developed by the creator of Time Squad, Dave Wasson, and the creators of the game Cuphead, Chad and Jared Moldenhauer, served as executive producers. The show was produced by Netflix Animation, King Features Syndicate, and Studio MDHR, with animation services provided by Lighthouse Studios and Screen Novelties. The series premiered on Netflix on February 18, 2022. As of recording, 12 episodes are available, but the show is greenlit for 36. The show follows Cuphead and his brother Mugman as they get into old-school cartoon antics around the Inkwell Isles, such as babysitting a rambunctious baby bottle, or going on a dangerous quest for some mystical object. There's also a plot to this show, but it's not all-encompassing. In the first episode, Cuphead and Mugman go to a carnival which ends up being a way for the devil to collect people's souls. Cuphead ends up losing a twisted version of Skee-Ball and loses his soul to the devil. Mugman helps him get it back, but now the devil is coming after Cuphead with the intent of claiming his soul. This plot is the focus of a few episodes, but it doesn't feel like the point of the show. Plus, it comes off as more of a running gag than an actual plot.
Give me your
It's obvious why they included this in the show. After all, that's the plot of the game. Well, sort of. In the game, the brothers go gambling at a casino, and Cuphead ends up losing a game of dice to the devil himself, and the brothers end up owing the devil their souls. Then they negotiate a deal with the devil. They collect the souls of all of his other debtors, and they get to keep theirs. None of that happens in the show. Also, a lot of the game's bosses haven't been featured so far, and King Dice, the devil's right-hand man, is only in one episode. At least so far. I'm sure there are more differences between the show and the game, but I expect there to be differences in an adaptation. They're two different mediums, and I look at them as such. Another change that I expected was, since Cuphead is a run-and-gun game, that was going to be adapted into a different genre because I can't imagine run-and-gun translating to a show all that well. Thus, the Cuphead show mainly relies on slapstick humor like a lot of the classic cartoons did. The humor in this show is pretty good, and it reminds me of watching reruns of shows like Tom and Jerry and the original Looney Tunes as a kid. This is fitting since Cuphead has always paid homage to those classic cartoons. After all, Cuphead's design is reminiscent of Mickey Mouse. It doesn't get more obvious than that. Another instance of the show paying homage is that you see flickering white specks all over the screen like you would on those old cartoons from the 20s through the 50s or so. The game did this too, and I love this detail. Even though it was something that was seen all the time back then simply because technology was much different, it feels unique now because there aren't many shows that utilize this classic style, outside of maybe a one-off episode. Whereas with Cuphead, that's part of the entire aesthetic, and it works well. The music fits with it as well. We don't get the same exact music we hear in the game, but that's fine. The music in the show is still good and fitting. The art style is also fitting. The character designs do the ones from the game justice, as do the backgrounds. The animation is solid as well. They're going for that classic cartoon feel, like I said, but since we're in the modern era, everything looks and feels more polished while still retaining that old school charm. The voice acting feels that way too. The cast tries to capture that classic feeling with their performances, and they're successful. It may be a little much in some cases, mainly just with how certain words are pronounced and the accents they use, but that's a personal preference. I'm not trying to detract from anybody's performance, I still appreciate the effort. As for the characters and their personalities, there's not a whole lot to say. Cuphead is the mischief-making twin who usually doesn't think before he acts, Mugman is the more level-headed twin who helps Cuphead out of the trouble he gets in, Elder Kettle is their caretaker who puts up with their shenanigans, Ms. Chalice is a charmer who always gets her way but she's also a lot of trouble, the devil is... well, that's self-explanatory. And I already mentioned King Dice, whom I wanted to see more of, but he was only in one episode. Maybe we'll see more of him in the future. The characters are fine, but since this isn't a show that focuses on characters, I can't discern one as the cheese. For what the show is, I think it's solid. It's fun, it's entertaining, and with each episode only being about 15 minutes long, it never feels like it overstays its welcome. This first batch of episodes does end on a cliffhanger, I suppose you could say, but we will be getting more episodes in the near future, and I'm looking forward to seeing if we'll get more of the same, or if it'll expand a little bit. Either way, I won't be disappointed. Overall, I give the Cuphead Show a 7 out of 10. Obviously, if you're a fan of the game, I'm sure you'll get a kick out of this show. If you're not, but you are a fan of classic slapstick cartoons, I still feel like you'll find some enjoyment here. It's a fun show, and unlike the game, it's not frustrating to the point where you want to punch a hole through your TV.
Then I better use my helpline. My brother Mugman is the smartest person I know.
Well, it appears that your helpline is frozen in terror.
Thank you guys so much for watching the video. If you have any other cartoons, anime, or other animated works that you want me to talk about in the future, please let me know. After all, it's not my channel, it's our channel. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and feel free to check out my social media pages, audition for an outro, and join the official Cartoon Session Discord. The links for all of which are in the description below. Thanks again for watching, and I'll see you all next time.
I'm King Candy, Turbo from the Wreck-It Ralph, and thank you for watching Cartoon Obsession. Have some candy.